right, so we're going to start on dessert, and we're going to have some peanut butter keto cookies. I already have my oven preheating at 350 degrees, and inside my bowl I have 1 cup of peanut butter. This is going to be this Smucker's Creamy Natural. This is like the lowest version of carbs that I could find. So we're going to put 1 cup of that in there, 1 egg, and we're going to put a 1/2 cup of the Swerve sugar in there. Okay. And then we're going to toss that in. And then we're going to mix it with a spoon. You don't have to use a blender for this. So that's what our batter is going to look like. So I have my pan here. It is a nonstick pan, but I'm just going to go ahead and spray it just because that's how I roll. And we will go through. I'm going to take a little bit like this on my hand, and then you just roll them into balls. I know you guys are probably wondering why we're making all this food for a random night, but growing up we always had big Sunday dinners, like Sunday meals, and also tonight is the premiere of the new season of Game of Thrones, so me and Leo watch it, and I just thought it would be kind of fun to have like snacks to go with our show. So in true peanut butter cookie form, you just take a fork and you kind of just make these things, these little marks. And that's it. All right, so that's how they are looking. We're gonna throw them in the oven. We're going to set our timer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll check them. All right, so here is all the cookies plated up. I'm just going to go ahead and let these sit out, and these are going to be for our dinner tonight. Okay, guys. You guys could each try one. Sophia's already has one. What do you think, Sophie?
They're really good.
They're really good. It's a snow day here in April, so we're still filming. Try it. What do you guys think?
Good.
They're good? All right, there you go. It's good, Becky? It's good, Rhea?
I put it in my iPad.
All right, so I'm getting ready to start our meal for the night, and one of our sides is going to be like this keto coleslaw. I did get this recipe from the KETOGINJA, so I'm going to go ahead and link her YouTube and her Instagram down below so you guys can check her out. So I'm just following her recipe. I'm going to add some these vinegars and some Swerve. I cut up 1/2 a head of cabbage already, and this is a cup of mayonnaise. So yeah. So I did 2 teaspoons of the apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of distilled white vinegar. I'm going to do 1 heaping tablespoon of the Swerve sugar. And then I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. And then I will mix it all up, and then I will show you what it looks like when we are done. Okay, so here is how everything came out. So the vinegars and the mayonnaise and everything. So even if you feel like your bowl looks like it's really filled with cabbage, once you stir it around, it'll really shrink down. So we still got a couple hours before dinner is going to be ready, but I wanted to go ahead and mix this and then throw it in the refrigerator to, you know, chill and all that stuff. Rhea and so this is going to be our main course, I guess we'll call it, our protein. And what we have here is just a pork belly. We did go ahead and pick it up from Costco, so it was 27 bucks. This is going to be 2 meals, and this is definitely going to be enough for leftovers from this meal, probably for a few meals this week. So Leo is going to go ahead and start preparing the meat. So go ahead and tell him what you're going to do.
Just gonna cut it down to size so it fits in the thing.
He's gonna cut it down to size. So that's the fat side, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Just scraping it a little bit.
Why?
Because I do. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's got kind of like a little film on there.
Uh-huh.
So if you scrape this stuff off, it helps it get a little bit crispier.
Okay. So on the fat side, you're gonna go ahead and score it, and you just cut lines going like sideways first.
Diagonal first.
Diagonal. And then, why do you do that?
Because it looks cool.
Okay.
No, and then it helps get some of the seasoning in there too.
And this side gets real crispy. So do you cook it on the fat side up?
Yeah, fat side up. So that when it goes in the oven, the skin will get nice and crispy.
Do you go real thick with it, or just like how deep do you make the cuts?
About a 1/4 inch in.
1/4 inch.
This is a skinless pork belly, so you don't have to cut too deep. But if you have a skin on one, then you probably have to go a little deeper with it.
Okay.
Just until you could like see the meat there.
Okay, let me pull it open so we can see. Sorry, guys. See, so when you see that, that's as deep as you want to go.
Yeah.
Okay. So he went ahead and went the other direction with the cuts. And what are you gonna put on there to season it?
That.
Okay, so if you guys are from the like Fort Myers Beach area, we got this down there by this little store by SOBs, if you guys are familiar. But yeah, I don't know where you would buy this from. But it's called Gator Hammock Gator Sprinkles.
It comes under a few different names.
Yeah, it does. But we have to be careful for the sugar and the carbs, guys. So always watch your labels, because a lot of this stuff has hidden sugars in it. So, and then you could just watch what's in it. So this is what it has: salt, garlic, paprika, black pepper, onion, cayenne pepper, ground celery seed, and it tells you what it's good for. So that's what we're seasoning it with. So you want to coat it pretty heavily, or?
You want to go pretty heavy, and then you're just gonna kind of rub it into the crevices. That's why you want to go pretty heavy with it.
Because it's almost gonna make like a crust.
Yeah.
You can cut this into thin slices and make bacon with it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But you would have to put it in a brine for a couple of days and then smoke it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You gonna leave that in there?
Yeah, I am. And then here's our...
You want to make sure you put it in one of these pans so it doesn't like boil in its own juices.
Okay, so you're gonna want to make sure... What is this called?
A rack.
A rack. Sorry. And then make sure it's on one of these, because he says that you're not to put it flat down because it'll cook in all its juices. So you want it to get like crispy all around. So we're gonna set the oven at 400. And how long do you cook it?
Once the skin gets real crispy, just I kind of eyeball it. It usually takes anywhere between a half hour to 45 minutes. Once it gets a nice little crisp to it, you just reach in there and tap it with your finger with the back of a knife or something, and then once it gets crispy, you just drop the temperature down to about 250 and let that go for about 2 hours. Okay,
so you're gonna put it on 400 until it gets crispy, the skin, and then once you see it getting crispy, maybe 30-45 minutes in, you know, just kind of use your own judgment, then you're gonna drop the oven down to 250 for about 1.5 to 2 hours. So we're letting the oven heat up. I'll show you what it looks like once we go ahead and drop the temperature, and then we will kind of see how it all goes. All right, so this was in there for about 45 minutes.
An hour.
An hour? Okay, so our new oven's a little bit off compared to our other one. Our other one I think got a little bit hotter. But anyways, this is what it looks like now. If you guys can see, it formed this really gorgeous like crust. That's like my favorite part. So we're gonna drop the Ooh. All right, guys, so we just took the pork belly out. We've had it in there for about, how long do you think, like an hour and a half?
Probably close to 3 hours.
Oh, okay. So we had it in there for 3 hours. I don't know where I was at. But yeah, so it is all done. This looks amazing. And as you can see, like all the drippings came down here. So it wasn't like kind of cooking in its own grease. But yeah, so would we let this cool, then we cut it?
Yeah, let it cool for a few minutes.
And then we'll cut it up, and then I'll show you how Leo cuts it too, okay? But yes, yes, so good. This top part is amazing. All right, so we're gonna start cutting. So how do you cut? Tell them how you do it. You just cut along the lines?
Yeah, cut on between any of the lines that we made.
Let me grab a piece so I can show them how good it looks. All right, and then I'll just eat this piece as well. I'll take the hit, but if you guys can see, all right, look at that. And then the meat's real tender on the inside, but here, and this is all crust, so good. Okay, so right now Leo's cutting up some radishes, and we just get them fresh. And we're gonna go ahead and just layer them in this cast iron skillet, and we're gonna do like a radish, how do you say it, au gratin? Au gratin. Yeah, so if you guys have never tried, radishes are an awesome substitute for potatoes. So we're just gonna go ahead and layer up this cast iron, and then I'm gonna make a separate sauce to pour over there, and then chop it with some Parmesan cheese, and then we're gonna bake it for about 40 minutes. All right, let's get started on this sauce. I found a recipe on Pinterest, but they didn't give measurements. So what I did was a half stick of butter, 1 cup of sharp cheddar cheese, and I mixed them together until they melted, and then a couple dashes of heavy whipping cream. And I just kind of mixed it, and then I poured it all over the top. I did not completely submerge the radishes because they are going to give off some water, and it did work out really well that I did that. I did end up making 2 cast iron skillets full because I wanted to make sure there was only 1 layer on the skillet. I didn't want to have them like completely bombarded. So yeah, I'm going to top it all in there, and just kind of how I did it is how I left it. And then I took some Parmesan cheese and I just hand shredded it, which is not easy. And yeah, I just made a nice little coating, you know, go on however you want. And yeah, that's it. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. I found this recipe off Pinterest, so hopefully it comes out okay. And we're just gonna go ahead and see how that goes. I'll show you when it comes out the oven. Okay, so my in-laws ended up coming over, but this came out amazing. I cooked it for 40 minutes until it got all bubbly, and then I let it sit for a few seconds until it thickened, and then I served it up. And this is what my plate looked like. This whole meal was amazingly delicious. And let's not forget the coleslaw. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you loved the video, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye, guys.